Hello, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Winnie Bush and this is Winning with Winnie. Alright y'all, so in today's video we'll be talking about how to showcase proof of funding for an F1 visa. So this is for people whether you're coming to the or you're planning or intending to come to the US for your bachelor's, your master's, your PhD. They always ask you to show proof of funding when you go for your visa interview. So these are some ways to show it. If you're ready, I am. Let's go. So universities typically ask that you have funds to cover at least one full year, and this is before they give you your I-20, which is a document you need to take to the US Embassy. So to showcase these funds, I have listed some ways or some documentation you will need to take to the immigration office, or even to give to your university as well to show that proof of funding. So the first thing I have is scholarship or assistantship letter. Typically, this is given to you by your university admission or department. You can also get from the international, so if your university has international admissions as well in their office or in their university, you can also request this form from them. So especially for people who, if you have everything covered, so if like tuition is covered, room and board is covered, meal plans, which is board, is covered, even the cost of textbooks, for example, is covered as well. So that showcases, or also health insurance is good to mention. So if those things are covered, you can just get a scholarship letter. So sometimes you could also even get this scholarship letter from your department. So let's say you're in the School of Psychology or Physics, you can request. So when they, when they give you admission to your university and they say we're providing you like full scholarship, then you would get like a letter from them basically saying what is covered. So that letter, that scholarship letter or that assistantship letter that you get from them, you can provide to your international admissions, and you can also use that in when you go for your visa interview as well. So I think it's also good to mention that you might also need to take additional like a bank statement. That's just in case everything is not covered. So let's say you get tuition, fully funded tuition, but they're not covering health insurance, they're not covering room and board, they're not covering what else do they say, like cost of textbooks. So you might have to take like additional bank statement just to help cover that part. Does that make sense? I think it does. Okay, let's go. So the next one I have is finding a sponsor. So if you don't have funds to cover your academic costs, you will need to find a sponsor who is willing and is able to. A lot of people have their parents sponsor them. A lot of people have like some family member sponsor them. And a lot of people also serve as their own sponsor as well. So there are people who worked a really nice job and they've just been saving and saving and saving all of their money for this. So there are also people who have like uncles and aunties and all this rich people who are able to sponsor them. So whoever your sponsor is, you will need a bank statement from your sponsor, basically talking about, like that they're going to sponsor you. I think also if the sponsor is not like your parents or if it's not yourself, you might have to prove your relationship to this person when you go to the embassy, because they'll definitely ask you like, who is your sponsor? What relationship do you have with your sponsor, and like why do they want to serve as your sponsor? So yeah, so that might be something else to kind of consider as well when you're thinking about your sponsor. So typically whoever is sponsoring you, they'll provide you with a bank statement showcasing that they have whatever the total amount that your university is requesting. So you submit that to your university, and then once they produce your I-20, you would now take that letter as well to the immigration office to be interviewed. I think I also wanted to say, I guess lastly, is that I've had a couple people reach out to me who they're just like, they would love to study in USA but don't have the financial means, and they plan to work part-time to cover that. There is no job in the US that you're able to work part-time and then cover, especially as international students. So once you move to the United States, typically your first year, you're unable to work. You can't work that first year. Unless you apply for like a special circumstance or something, but that is also hard to prove as well. But yeah, so I guess my point is, don't try to come here first and then figure it out, because that is tough. Typically as international student, you're only allowed to work on campus for 20 hours a week. That's not a lot. So unless you're working illegally off campus, or you're working like multiple jobs, like which is illegal, that might make you, if they find out, like if the government find out, if your school finds out, like they might put you out of status, and that is not good because you could get deported from that. So I would advise, like if you're interested in coming to the United States and you're unable to find a sponsor, like focus on universities. There's so many universities in the United States that provide full funding, so focus on those universities. So Google what universities provide full funding for whatever your program is. So that could be mass communication, that could be theater, whatever it is, physics, engineering. There's so many. I think also on this channel I look a lot into different majors. That's one of the videos I've been exploring, just seeing what scholarships or what opportunities different schools provide. So if there's a particular major that you're interested in that I haven't covered yet, like let me know, so I can cover your major. But there's so many there's so many schools that provide full funding, you know, so try to get those opportunities so you don't come here and be stranded, because it's not a good look. Not even always is not a good look when you come here and you have to figure out a way to pay your tuition. It's tough, it's hard, and you'll always be stressed and trying to figure everything out. At the end of the day too, you're here to get your degree, so you have to kind of make that a priority. So you don't want stress and always worrying about what's next, or even always looking over your back like, oh, and then you come here, so you might not be, you might be scared to go back home, because once you leave and they find out, like they won't let you back into the country. So just do it the right way is what I always tell people. Try to get those scholarships, try to get that full funding. It's worth the wait, you know. So yeah, so I hope this has been helpful. So yeah, so that's just some of the ways to show proof of funding. Thanks y'all for watching this video. Until next time, my name is Winnie Bush. Bye.